Welcome to the Everything Co-working podcast. This is your host, Jamie Russo. Happy holiday season. I am coming to you today with a checklist for making sure you're effectively handling day pass users. This is the time of year when people are traveling, they're staying with family, they need a break, they need to get stuff done, even if they're on vacation, and they're probably coming to you for a day pass. So, if you typically don't allow day passes, considering opening up for day passes if you have the capability. And those of you who have been in business for more than a year probably know if this is a hot season for you or not. And while your day passers this time of year might be transient, you might not ever see them again. I want to give you a few things to think about because that will not be the case for all of them. And some of them might be long-term customers or great referral sources. What if there's an out-of-town guest and they happen to be aware of co-working and they're staying with family and the family doesn't know about co-working and they tell them all about it when they leave to get stuff done and come back again? And now there's a local family that knows about co-working and knows about you and gets a great recommendation. And maybe they become a customer or tell their neighbor or whatever. You never know. So this stems from an experience I had last week doing a day pass at a local co-working space, not an independent operator. I will not call anyone out. I was somewhat surprised by my experience, and it just made me think through the fact that some of you might not be thinking through all these details. And we chatted about it a little bit in our Community Manager University Slack group. And a couple of the community managers said, you know what? It's always good to have these reminders and to kind of think through how should we handle day passers? It seems very obvious, but my experience was definitely not a 10 out of 10. So let's talk about this because day passes are totally an opportunity. Sometimes a day passer is their first interaction, maybe with co-working ever. Certainly, it might be their first interaction with your brand, your community, your team, your specific local location. So we want to be intentional about that experience and how people experience it and how we follow up and what we suggest for them as a next opportunity. So we're going to talk through a checklist. This checklist is going to go to our community manager group and to our operator membership. And just really quickly, we've had this kind of hidden operator membership for a long time, and it hasn't been integrated with the community manager group. And this year, we're evolving because we think it's really important for owners and community managers to be aligned where possible, where it makes sense, on some of the strategic initiatives in the business and to have exposure to the same training and the same resources. So our operator membership, the basic one, is called the Revenue Playbook. We do a training every month that will be alongside the community managers. And then each group has their own Q&A mastermind call. So same content, but then you get access to your own community for chit-chatting, asking questions, getting input throughout the month in your own separate communities. So all those groups will get this checklist. Okay. And operators be thinking about how you want to design this experience in your own co-working space. And community managers, if you're listening, you are the ones delivering this experience. And we want this to be documented and trained. And that was really why I was surprised about my experience at this location, because it is a national operator, and I would presume they have SOPs on how to handle day passers. And maybe it's the case that they get so many that they don't feel the need to convert them into future revenue. Seems unlikely, right? We can always use more revenue. We certainly can always use more day pass revenue, more virtual revenue, maybe not day pass, sorry, meeting room revenue. So day passers are probably good meeting room candidates too. So again, maybe they're in from out of town. Maybe they need to, meet with a client. Maybe they need to reserve a space so that they can, be sure they make calls, etc. So let's talk about the day passer. Let's just go through the workflow. Your signage should be really good. This is for your members. This is for your members' guests. This is for your day passers. If you need to explain parking, etc., that should all be done clearly on your website. I should note I did not reserve before I arrived. That may or may not happen. That may or may not drive you crazy. You may not be open to people showing up and booking on site. If you are, then, have a procedure for what you do when someone shows up at the front desk and hasn't done anything. I wasn't really worried about it because I just knew what the drill would be. I wasn't worried that they'd be full because it was a Friday. So I also knew that was not going to be a problem. One of our community managers, when I did a quick video in the group and we had a little asynchronous conversation about it, said they actually do have a lot of DIY day passers who drop into their locations. Not all of them are staffed. And when someone books online in advance, they get this whole sort of little mini playbook on how to go through their day. So it is not necessarily, again, that you have to have this like heavy, intense experience with the day passer, although I'm going to call out some opportunities, but it should be really intentional and thought through to make sure the day passer has everything they need. So I arrived and the community manager was totally friendly. No problem there. I didn't feel unwelcome. And yet the community manager asked me 0 questions about myself. And I, of course, am very chatty. So I sort of am leading when I drop into co-working spaces. So I just said, I want a day pass and I didn't book in advance. And he said, okay, you can do it on your phone or on your computer. The Wi-Fi is open. You could sit down right over there and handle it. So that part is generally fine. Again, I really like to sort of be seen and I want someone to want to get to know me. I am an Enneagram 3 and that is our vibe. My husband's an Enneagram 5 and he might be totally fine with the community manager just letting him go on his way. I just wanted a tiny bit of chit chat. That said, I was actually sort of hot to get on a call. I had a call scheduled and I already knew I was going to be running a little late because I'd commuted to the space and was just running a little behind. So that was also on my mind. So while I wanted to be friendly with the community manager, I also needed to do this quickly. It took forever for me to book this day pass. And if it's hard when you have your own space and you maybe don't go to other spaces and you don't book a day pass in your space to think about the process of this. We talk about this a lot. I'm constantly having debates with clients about how to handle on-demand bookings. I am a huge Flexspace.ai fan. Office R&D Growth Mode does some of this. The idea that you can check out with having to create an account is so critical to me because users don't want to. As a consumer, this is such a great example, and this has just really kind of popped on my radar screen even more heavily this holiday season. I have a 14-year-old, so I do Christmas shopping and, of course, a little shopping for myself. I love a good Black Friday deal. And what is happening is that I will go to a website, a retailer, I will put something in my cart and go to checkout, and I don't have to create an account because there's this app called Shop that is integrated into the website and it recognizes me and it just uses my information to check me out. It knows my address and then it tracks it all on the Shop app on my phone. It even knows what I have in my shopping cart. I went to check the delivery of something that I'd ordered and it has, where I have items in carts that I haven't checked out. It's pretty incredible. And it has all my credit cards stored and my shipping address is stored. And it goes with me across websites. This is what consumers expect. So I sat down to book a day pass and thought it would be super easy and I'd do it on my phone, like Flexspace style or Shop app style. And that was not the case. I keep saying it took me 20 minutes. I don't know how it could have taken me 20 minutes. That's probably kind of ridiculous. It felt like 20 minutes. I had to find the location on their website. How about a QR code? If you have lots of locations and I have to go searching around on your website to find the one I'm at, give me a QR code to use to go directly to that location. I literally had to navigate. I was trying to do it on my phone, find the location. And then I have to create the account. Then I have to buy the day pass. I can't remember, what else I had to do. It felt like a lot. So it took longer than I thought, and it was much harder than I thought it would be. So, okay, then I'm good. Then I, went to the front desk and had to ask a bunch of questions because he was just going to let me he activated. I won't give away all the details. He had to set me up. So then, I could see the kitchen, but I couldn't see the phone booth or the bathroom. And nobody had said like coffee's included or told me, like given me the lay of the land. So, and I know co-working really dang well. I ran co-working spaces for 8 years. I work every day with operators like you. I am deeply ingrained in co-working, so I'm not like intimidated by this, but anybody else could be and would have no idea, can I drink that coffee? So I had to ask, okay, tell me about the kitchen and, coffee and where are the restrooms? And then I need a phone booth because I, had this call to make. And the layout's kind of weird. You can't see everything and like you need a card to access different, hallways, et cetera. So I had asked about that. And so then I'm off on my way. I go find a spot to put my stuff down. I go to get into the phone booth. It was a room booth, which I love, totally soundproof. And I had a podcast to record. So I had a phone call to make. And then I was going to be brave and do this podcast recording away from home. So I couldn't get on the Wi-Fi. And which I'm pretty technical. I do technical things, all day long, things that I should probably pay other people to do. So I was like, oh, okay. So now I got to cart myself back over to the front desk. So he asked me like, well, what did I log in as? He's trying to like look me up. And, I said my email address, which has everything co-working in it, did not even blink. Not that he should know who I am, but if you're a community manager and you check in someone who has the word co-working in their email address, time for a conversation. That's an invitation to discuss. So I even mentioned in my little chit chat, I can't remember what I was chit chatting, like, oh, my neighbor works here, and like all sorts of opportunities to be like, oh, where do you live? Like, what do you do? What's your neighbor? Who's your neighbor? Nada, nothing. Again, totally friendly. It's not like they were rude or impatient, just no interest. And I really, again, Enneagram 3, I want people to be interested. So, but again, back through the check-in process. Look, back to our checklist, on the checklist is going to be give the day passer a tour. Treat them as if they might become a member because they might. I am totally a candidate to join that space. I am not from out of town visiting family, but even if I am, right, a little swing around the space, a little walk me through the etiquette and make sure I'm comfortable and can visualize where everything is. I had to like walk myself around the space and find the restroom and all of that. If, however, the person comes in and they're hot and maybe a little impatient, of course your team should be trained to just set them up and then say, hey, when you're done with your call, if you want a tour, if you want me to show you around, explain anything, I'm here for you. Issue that invitation and then move on. So read the room 100%, but engage a little bit. Ask a couple of questions until you sense that you should stop. Certainly you should be looking up, have they been in before? So the fact that I had to buy a day pass and create an account says, I have never been in here before. I am not in your system. I require some more information. I have not had a tour. I don't know anything about this. And I'm a potential user. And again, the tour is not about pitching, and your team should not be intimidated by having to do tours, period. But also just look at it again, sales as service. I'm walking them through the space. I'm showing them the amenities. And I'll get to this. This is like a little bit out of order. I love this as an opportunity to introduce the day passer to someone. I mentioned that my neighbor works there. He's not there on Fridays. But I'll tell you, I was one of 2 females in the space. Very male day. And I felt a little weird. I have to say, like, again, I don't usually like care or notice about those things. But I was like, oh, I wonder if this is like typical and I really wanted to meet the other female. So she was sitting kind of near me. I might have gone up and introduced myself. Day one, I didn't feel totally comfortable doing that. I didn't want to interrupt her or whatever. I would have loved if the community manager like made that connection and was willing to connect the two of us. It's possible that the community manager didn't know her either. Certainly, I never saw the community manager after I checked in. Like there were no rounds being done or checking on things. I did not see them. So offer the tour. If they're hot to get into a meeting, just, offer it for later. Introducing them to a member is like so awesome when you can do that on a tour, even if it's for a day pass. And I would have loved that connection point and, get them connected. Also, find a way. This is why I love like doing the rounds and checking in. I did have a call, so I didn't want to spend 20 minutes talking to the community manager when I got there. I would have loved to be shown around so that I knew exactly where the phone booth was, knew where to put my stuff. But then I wanted to get on my call. But to circle back a little bit later, the community manager could have come over, had time to make sure like I'd never been in there before, maybe look at my address, which I would have had to put into my billing info, see that I'm local, and walk me through some offers that they have. Or, suggest I come back. Hey, did you know we have meeting rooms? If you're a member, this is how you book them. Just give me like a little more of an orientation, but also make sure I know that they do have seasonal offers on the table. They have some deals going on if you commit to a full-time membership for 2026. So it would have been super smart to mention that in terms of making sure I knew, like, who wants to make sure you want to make sure a customer doesn't miss something that they might want. And maybe I had not looked at their memberships before, and it would have been a great opportunity to help me get to know what's possible and to potentially transition me into something more than just a day passer. So making sure that you make that offer, like whatever you have going on, you might have nothing going on, but you still could say, look, the day pass is expensive. So it's also just an opportunity to be like, hey, how's your day going? How's the setup for you? Any concerns? Are you thinking about doing this more often? Here's what our memberships look like. And it's a lot less expensive to do it consistently than to do it on a day pass. And your day passes should be expensive because you don't want people to only be doing day passes unless they're really not local or really don't want to commit. So make sure people know what's possible and make that invitation. Hey, we'd love to see you back. Next time, if you have this like whatever membership, you can book a meeting room. We'd love to have you check out our meeting rooms. Just make the invitation. Okay, so let me see what I have missed. I think that's it. It's not overly complicated, but I think these are things that can get missed, even at a national brand who I'm sure has SOPs against this. So it's worth revisiting with your team, especially this time of year. I mean, we're coming up on this week, next week are probably pretty hot day pass opportunities. Treat them, we'll just kind of run through our recap. Treat day passers as potential long-term relationships. Make sure you're in the CRM and make sure you pull up the contact. This is for your team or you if you're operating. Has the contact been here before? What do we know about them? Make some notes. The fact that my neighbor works there to me is like such a huge nugget, right? Because how do we get people to convert? If somebody has a friend in the space, I don't have this data, but I am 100% sure that you are many more times likely to convert to be a member if you have a friend in the space. And frankly, that's why I went. I was like, well, I need to get out, visit some other co-working spaces. I don't have a local co-working space here that I'm committed to. And I was like, well, my neighbor goes there and he says it's really easy to park and you can walk to Trader Joe's for lunch. Win, win, win. So I'm a strong candidate for a referral and a conversion. So that, make sure your team's putting those nuggets in the CRM and tagging appropriately, whatever the tags are, friend of a member or referral candidate or, whatever, however you think through marketing to those. And think of me as a potential member. You want to market either meeting room packages to me or day pass packages. This national operator may not, but probably you as an independent operator, you want to increase my spend with you. So you don't want me to thinking like just random Friday, where I want to get a lot of stuff done and I'm dropping in. You want to think, how can I increase spend in the future? So use the CRM, document, offer the tour, ask questions about me and what I do and where I live and who do I know and what are my pain points. Make those notes in the CRM, create some moments of connection when possible, introduce me to another member. Again, I always think, so I live in the Bay Area and it's very tech heavy and I am not in tech. And so I am constantly thinking through when I drop into a space, like, do I belong here or am I just going to be surrounded by all tech people? And if there are non-tech people in that room, I would like to talk to them because I'm interested in business people, right? Or, marketers. I mean, I do a lot of different things. I'm certainly in co-working, so real estate, hospitality, but like I'm not building an app. So I would like to connect with people who are, have varied roles that they play. So that's part of it too, right? If you can sort of help the day passer know like who's there. Again, if they're like all hot to get on a call, then just keep it short. But if they seem interested, elaborate. Make sure you swing by to make them an offer and invite them back. Don't assume I did not have to walk by the front desk to leave. This, is an important consideration when you're designing a workspace. It's not ideal, right? Because now I think I could even book my day pass, never talk to the front desk, and leave again and never talk to the front desk, which as an Enneagram 5, for example, I might prefer. I know I'm obsessed with the Enneagram, but it's not ideal for making connections with members, right? If you don't have to pass by the front desk. So consider that when you're making I might have to go over there to get coffee. I never did actually get coffee. I'm a 1 cappuccino a day girl, and I'd already had my cappuccino. Okay, so make them offer, invite them back, and review your buying process for the day pass. I'm sure that now that I have an account, it'll be easy for the next time, but that was pretty painful. So if it's hard to buy a day pass, people might give up. What if they're trying to do this at home, or they're out and about and they're like, oh, I'm gonna, check in and do a day pass, and it's just really too hard. The barrier, I know you think like, oh my God, how hard it is to create an account. Over and over again, I see here anecdotal stories and Flexspace has this data. I'm not an affiliate of Flexspace.ai. I just want you to make more money. We have operators in small markets who see a lift in their meeting room revenue when they remove the need to create an account. It is a barrier. So make it as easy as possible to purchase. I'm going to forever and always keep reminding you of that until that's standard and everybody's doing it. So good time. It's a little slower. Good opportunity this time of year to revisit some of these things with your team. And one other thing I want to mention, we're going to drop this checklist into our memberships. And speaking of the memberships, because we're trying to couple the Community Manager University and our Revenue Playbook group more closely, we are now offering a bundle. So the operator membership and the Community Manager membership are not $97 each. They're $144 if you do both at the same time, which is an awesome opportunity. So we'd love to see you in there if you're interested in talking about topics like this, getting monthly training, and getting monthly coaching. And if your community managers are in our group, I'm just gonna one last suggestion. As you're, taking some time and reflecting on 2025 and looking towards 2026, send your community managers into our program with some accountability for what they're accomplishing in there. In my mind, for $97 a month, they ask one question in the Slack group that keeps them moving. It's totally worth it. Also, it's the biggest bang for the buck on getting coaching on how to improve your business or how to improve your hospitality or how to improve your day pass experience. Because you can come to our calls and get really great coaching on specific things that you're trying to improve in the business. So again, the ROI can be something as small as, hey, how do I stay compliant on my, CMRA, or how do I make more money on, mail revenue, like little simple tips. And it can be, hey, this is my goal. I want to talk through these things, and show up to the calls with intention. Encourage your team to do that. I know it's hard to make live calls all the time. We also do coaching in Slack. So make sure you put a little bug in the ear if your team is in the program, and just think about, how do we use this amazing resource to pursue our goals in 2026? Okay, that's it for this week. We'll see you same time, same place next week.